Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster with part 2 of What If Dragon Ball had double fruits. So yeah, this is probably an unusual what if, and I do hope you enjoy it. And quick recap, due to Raditz being very vigilant about getting there before the Vegeta and Nappa land on Earth, uh, they were able to leave in time in order to get there 12 hours before Vegeta and Nappa land. With this being said, they all meet up at the lookout in order to talk and think about what to do. As Raditz revealed that the reason of why Vegeta is coming here for the Dragon Balls, in order to gain immortality to kill Frieza, explaining that he was the one that killed their entire race to the point where there's so few of them left. Obviously, this was shocking. And we'll kind of start off from there. But before that, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. With all that said, hit it. Now then, after Raditz and everybody were talking, after Raditz tells them about Frieza and Vegeta's motives, everybody was obviously shocked. As Bulma flies up just now, along with Chi-Chi, Master Roshi, and Silver's Rayleigh, as they meet up and are filled in. As Bulma is shocked by this, sitting down, trying to process this, that their lives are being threatened because somebody wants to be immortal to take down a galactic tyrant, destroys worlds, and commits mass genocide just to amuse himself. As Rayleigh states, if that's the case, I can understand why this Vegeta person might go so far to get the Dragon Balls. You stated something about Zenkai, as he remembers some conversations that he was told about from Bulma and such, with Raditz. As Raditz states, yes. Zenkai is what we Saiyans call a certain ability of ours. After retaining large amounts of damage and recovering from it, we become even stronger than before, essentially breaking a limit. Each time this happens, we get stronger. The more damage we take, including to the point of near death, the stronger we become after fully healing. As Goku states, well, that does explain some things. It explains how I got stronger after getting beaten by some bad guys when I was younger, like King Piccolo. As he looks over at Piccolo, pointing, Piccolo states, no, not me, my father. As Raditz states, oh, I see. As they continue talking, Raditz looks over at Gohan, which Chi-Chi is nervous about, but Raditz pipes up stating, I understand you might be afraid of me, but honestly, when I saw you, I saw something special, though I didn't realize what it was until after spending about 2 to 3 years training with your father. As this confused everybody for a moment, Goku piped up stating that on King Kai's world, time moves differently, so they were able to train a lot longer. So the Raditz they met when he landed is a lot different than the one that they are meeting right now. And they kind of get it. As Raditz states, after I met you, I was thinking of things while I was on that King Kai's planet. And I realized something. Something that I saw in you instinctively, even if I didn't realize it to begin with. As he looks at Gohan, Gohan asks, "What was it?" Reddit states, "A new beginning for our race. I just hope it's better than the race that got destroyed." As he sighs, remarking that fortunately we might have some time before having to deal with anything major after Vegeta gets here, though not sure about how much. As Bulma states, "Oh yeah, that's right. This Frieza guy you're talking about, he's the one who it has this constant tapping on that scouter thing you were wearing, right? He overheard about the Dragon Balls and the Double Fruits, didn't he?" Rabbit states, "Well, I wouldn't quite say it was Frieza himself. Most likely an underling going through records, though it was a brief mention, and I severely doubt something like that would ultimately get him interested enough in them. Not to mention that he doesn't do anything unless he has to, especially if it's something like gaining any wish he wants. He's not a big fan of using his time wastefully, from what I understand. Don't know much about him, though it's somewhat odd saying that, considering he killed our entire race, including our parents." As this catches Goku's attention, he asks, "What were they like?" Raditz thinks for a moment, trying to find the words, stating, "From what I understand, what Vegeta found out, our father somehow found out about Frieza's plan to destroy our race before it happened. Not sure how, though. But from what I understand, he sent you away before Frieza got there, most likely as a precaution to save your life, while I was already about to go off-world. The reason why I came here was to recruit you into our forces with Vegeta as a way of building up our forces to take on Frieza." As he takes a drink, he then states, "That was the original plan, though my failure, and plus the mentioning of these Dragon Balls, has changed things." As Goku states, "Yeah, pretty obvious about that." As he continues, "As for our mother, after spending so long with you in training, you remind me more of her than our father. Our father was strong, proud, leader of his own team. Mother was unusual for the majority of our kind. Well, in comparison to the other Saiyans that I know. Which, remember, I don't know many, considering how long it's been since I was a child on our home planet." As he continues, "My mother was kind, caring, and always worried about me getting into too much trouble." He looks at Goku, stating, You actually remind me a good bit of her. Suppose you got more of her in you than you do our father. Though, in all fairness, you're practically the spitting image of him, as he smirks. Goku is somewhat happy about that, though not sure why. Probably because he learned something about his biological parents for once. Raditz continues stating, "My father was a fine Saiyan. His name was Bardock. Mother was Gine," as he smiles, remembering them, as he continues with, "Though, upon the destruction of our homeworld, it also ended up with their deaths as well. From what I've heard from Vegeta, it's apparent that our father did his best to fight off Frieza's forces until Frieza killed them all, laughing, as Raditz just clenches his fist. I have no doubt that Vegeta would do anything if it meant killing that bastard. However, Vegeta got the way he is more or less after learning this. After learning that, he more or less went on a downward spiral, just filled with hate for following Frieza's orders because he wasn't able to fight him. And his strength is on an entirely different level than ours, even now. After this, the Z fighters didn't really trust Raditz due to the fact of how they, met. But after hearing this, they understand that they were desperate, killing a tyrant that eliminated their whole race. They're not even sure how they would end up if the entire human race was completely wiped out except for them. They couldn't even imagine what they'd be like. After this, Goku stood up, stating, "All right, I've decided." Looking over at Kami, asking him if he could do what he did to all of us. As Kami looks at Raditz and is a little cautious, but he, after hearing this, he thinks that it might not be the worst idea. Raditz looks at him, asking, "What are you talking about?" Goku mentioned that some of their friends have actually died before, and they've used the Dragon Balls to bring them back. Though, due to the fact that they had devil fruits, the powers would be lost after they were, well, killed and brought back to life without powers. Took some time to find the devil fruit again and for them to eat it. After the last tournament that I participated in, I asked Kami if there was anything to prevent that, just in case. Kami pipes up, stating yes. As the Guardian, I have the ability of all kinds of tricks, one of which is to bind the power of the devil fruit onto your soul. Meaning, even if you die, the power would still be with you, allowing you to be resurrected using the Dragon Balls in order for you to still retain the devil fruit's power. As Raditz is surprised by this, he stands up asking, "Okay, so how do we begin?" As Kami walks up to him, placing his hand on Raditz's shoulder. This might feel odd, so do brace yourself. As a light signs, Raditz feels his body tensing up. As the light diminishes, he breathes slightly heavily, not expecting that. As Kami states, it's done. Your double fruit is now bonded to your soul. Please don't let me regret doing such a thing. Also, if it comes down to it, we could undo the process as well. Either it would be me, or it could be another similar to my position, but of a higher standing, which would be, as you may think, King Kai, as Raditz understands. Now they begin to talk about their strategy. Raditz states that Vegeta might be one thing, but Nappa's always been kind of a sadistic person. So he might just destroy things, including entire cities, just for the fun of it. This obviously didn't sit well with them. So Goku got an idea, asking Bulma if she gathered the Dragon Balls which she did, showing them. As Raditz looks, thinking, how exactly do they work anyways? And what do you plan on doing? Are you going to wish to send them somewheres? As Goku states, not exactly. As for how they work, they need a password. If this Vegeta guy doesn't know it, he can't use it. Also, after the Dragon Balls are used, they turn to just look like normal rocks and scatter across the world for an entire year. Once the year passes, they return to this state where we can find them again to make another wish. Raditz understands the process of this, but asks, okay, but what exactly is your plan for this? As he goes and grabs the 7-star ball, he states, well, if they're after the Dragon Balls, if we can meet with them in the place that they land, we can use this little guy as kind of like bait to lure them away from the populated areas so that we can fight them without issue and without restraining ourselves or worrying about civilians getting in the way, right? Everyone is kind of surprised by this idea, though they see merit in it. They landed in a highly populated area. It wouldn't be good to start the fight there. And if they didn't have anything to entice them into uh, going along with them, then it probably wouldn't work and end up with a good number of people dying. So it's agreed that they would do this. As we see Kami chime in, yes, but do make sure that they don't get it. Obviously, they can't use the Dragon Balls to make a wish with only one Dragon Ball. But we won't be able to make a wish either they get their hands on it. Which Raditz states, so you need the complete set to make it work. Otherwise, it's just a nice, shiny looking orb. With Krillin stating, yep, pretty much. Since after the wish is granted and they scatter across the world, once they are ready to be used again, it's somewhat troublesome to find them. Though over the years, I think it's actually gotten a little easier, right? With some of them agreeing. As Kami chimes in, stating, if these individuals that are coming are as powerful as this Raditz says, I would recommend those who have Logia type double fruits to pay heed. As you know, ki blasts won't necessarily kill you if they pierce through your bodies, although it will hurt quite a bit at that. But if you become completely enveloped in a strong enough ki blast that it would destroy your entire body, Logia double fruit or not, you would still die. So do your best to keep that from happening. As he then looks at Piccolo and states, and you, make sure you don't die. You dying would be quite inconvenient for us all. Raditz doesn't understand this, but doesn't ask any questions since it doesn't really care. He doesn't care about this, though he doesn't really get it either. So, the plan is simple. Once Vegeta and Nappa land, they'll use one of the Dragon Balls as bait to lure them away from populated areas, with space where they can fight without restraint. As for their current strength, Goku, through the training with Raditz, has shot up in power a good bit, and vice versa, though Raditz was surprised with how much more Goku seemed to have been advancing, surpassing him. Surprised him, but as long as they can survive this mess, he'll worry about surpassing his younger brother later. They mostly join together at a necessity for survival at the moment. Anything else they can worry about later. As a second ship lands, and we see Blonde launch. And yes, he is going to be in this what if, stating, alright, so when are they getting here? As we just see her with a bunch of guns, rocket launchers, and etc. With Bulma trying to calm her down, reminding her that those weapons won't really work on these guys coming. With her yelling, what are you talking about? I got high grade explosives. They should at least do something. As well, Bulma is distracting her. Rayleigh uses a cattail plant to make her sneeze, switching over to Blue Launch, which confuses Raditz as he's given a brief explanation about her. So, as they get ready to leave, Rayleigh, Master Roasty, Chi-Chi, uh, Blue Launch, and, you know, everybody who aren't going to fight wishes them good luck, while Chi-Chi tells Goku to make sure that their son is okay. In this what if, she's let Gohan train, as because like in the part 1 they were constantly attacked at Mount Paozu because they had the double fruits, and criminal organizations can handle not having that treasure trove of powers just sitting there. Obviously it did stop, but after training and Goku and her realizing Gohan's potential, not only as academic work, but also his strength, she understood that he needed to fight, though by no means was happy about it. Remember, in the canons, he did cave to let Gohan go into space, of all things, to stop a tyrant from getting Dragon Balls from Namek. So, if circumstances were in a certain way, she could be convinced to let him fight, though obviously not happy about it, and holding Goku responsible for Gohan's safety. As he nervously laughs and hugs his wife, stating, don't worry, Chi-Chi. I want to make sure we get out of this, all of us. As they fly off, Raditz tells his brother, you got a real spirited wife, don't you, Kakarot? With Goku scratching his head, stating as he laughs, yeah, I guess so, but I wouldn't have her any other way. As he smirks, stating, and that launch woman seems quite spirited as well, at least when she's blonde, which I still don't get how switching personalities changes their hair color like that. With Krillin stating, me and Goku have known her for so long, and neither of us don't understand it either, with him laughing. As they fly over, they're at the point where they can sense Nappa and Vegeta's energy from outer space because they're close enough, heading over to where they seem to be going. As Nappa and Vegeta land, they walk out of their pods after messing up the city a bit during their landing. Before Nappa can do what he did in canon and blow up the place, Raditz and Goku yell at them to hold it, as Goku holds up one of the Dragon Balls, stating, "You're looking for one of these, right?" As Vegeta tells Nappa to hold off on his attack. Nappa, seeing the Dragon Ball, smirks. "So that's a Dragon Ball. Is that the only one we need?" With Vegeta stating, "Probably not. I severely doubt that they're so much of fools that they would bring all that we would need to grant our wish to us." As Vegeta yells, "What do you want? I'm sure you wouldn't bring something like that here just to make us stop from doing anything." As Goku states, "We're going somewhere else to take care of this business." And the objections? But Vegeta and Nappa looking at one another, stating, "Not in particular. Though, once it's over, we'll be taking that Dragon Ball and any other that we may need." As Raditz states, "That's if you can beat us." Which Nappa is pissed, stating, "Oh, don't you start. You were beaten by this weakling. You're no threat to us." As Raditz smirks, stating, "You sure about that?" Where we also see Piccolo destroy the Scouters on Vegeta and Nappa, with Raditz stating to him, "Oh yeah, that's right. Good, nice work, Piccolo." As Vegeta is annoyed by this, he states, "Fine. You want to take this somewhere else? Then fine. However, you're going to pay for what you just did to our equipment." Flying away, Piccolo guides them to a wasteland where there isn't any civilization nearby. After landing, Nappa asks something. "Why did you destroy our Scouters?" As Raditz states, "Apparently an engineer from this planet figured out that there's a constant signal being sent from our Scouters without our knowing, sending them visuals and audio from everything that we've seen while wearing them. And I think you know who it's sent to." As they realize this, Vegeta just clenches his fist, saying, "Damn it, bastard. All the more reason you should hand over those Dragon Balls right now." With Nappa stating, "Oh, come on, Vegeta, they're nothing. Let's just end them right here and now, and we can get the Dragon Balls whenever we want. It's not like they'll be able to stop us, right?" Vegeta states, "Fine. You make a point, Nappa, so let's finish this." As Nappa states, "How about we have some fun first, while we're at least here?" Vegeta sits down, stating, "Do as you want." Planting the Cybermen. As they emerge, Raditz tells them about the Cybermen, that they're naturally grown, well, they're artificially grown life forms, more or less kind of like growing a plant at rapid pace instead they grow, well, entities that are meant for taking out lower level combatants. As Goku states, well, we don't have time to waste our ki on them, so we should take care of them as quickly as possible, right? Raditz states, yeah, what are you thinking? As he steps forward, just looks at them, sending out a wave of Conqueror's Haki. This causes Nappa and Vegeta to tense up from this. As for the Cybermen, they all thinking, nicely done, using ki blasts to destroy every last Cyberman. So in this one, Yamcha doesn't get, well, Yamcha, which that as a meme is practically golden, using his name as a verb, I guess it would be. As Vegeta is now interested in this power that Kakarot just showed, stating, that was quite unusual. Kakarot, was it? You may be more useful than I thought. Join us, and we might think about letting all your little friends and this planet survive. As Goku states, not happening. We're not making a deal like that. As Vegeta states, fine. Vegeta tells Nappa to take care of the other ones, while he deals with Raditz and his little brother. Nappa's fine with that, as he states, good. I get to play with these weaklings as much as I like, cracking his knuckles. As Vegeta, Goku, and Raditz go off to fight their own battle, leaving Nappa to deal with Yamcha, Krillin, Tenshinhan, Chaozu, Piccolo, and Gohan. As Nappa recognizes that Gohan seems to be a Saiyan, he states, kid, why are you siding with these weaklings? You're a Saiyan, aren't you? As he states, I don't have to listen to you. As Nappa finds his spunk interesting yet annoying, he blitzes for Gohan. Gohan can sense that the attack is coming, but like I said before, even if they can see the attack coming, their body and reaction time isn't fast enough, they'll still get hit. It's common sense. Even if you can see it coming, if your body can't keep up, you're still gonna get hit. After being kicked in the head, his neck stretches out, throwing off his double fruit power his mom gave him in order to better survive this conflict, surprising Nappa as Goku. As Gohan latches on to Nappa with Gohan's head reeling back, headbutting him with weak armament Haki, causing Nappa to have a headache, stating, you little brat. As the fight now continues with Yamcha going into his half-wolf form to attack, striking at Nappa constantly, trying his best to keep up with Nappa's more intense speed and strength due to the higher ki level, while also using armament the best he can to defend himself. Although it's able to block his attacks, he's still sent flying from the sheer force of it. As and Shinhan comes in, creating a light blade infused with ki, using it to attack, cutting Nappa a bit, even slicing some parts of his armor off, which then Krillin comes in with his Tienzon slicing towards Nappa, only cutting his cheek though, as he gets pissed and begins to fire a rapid barrage of ki blasts. With Vegeta, Goku, and Raditz seeing the explosions from this, Vegeta states, "Are you sure you don't want to make a deal? After all, your friends might not survive." With them stating, "They'll be fine." Though Raditz wanted to take on Vegeta first, as there was a bit of an argument between Goku and Raditz. They decided to solve this with rock, paper, scissors, with Raditz winning, to Goku's displeasure. As Raditz then steps up to Vegeta, Vegeta scoffs and laughs at Raditz, thinking that he's so tough now. As he goes to attack Raditz, punching him in the chest, trying to punch clean through him, he does so, but soon regrets it as his hand begins to burn. Seeing that his chest seems to be oozing magma. Lunging backwards and using ki to blast the magma off, he shakes his hands as he has some burns. Due to the ki reinforcing his body's durability, he didn't get burns as severe if it was a normal person touching lava. Though he looks as the hole in Raditz's chest closes up, as Vegeta states, "What the hell happened to you?" Raditz smirks, stating, "You remember those devil fruit objects that we were talking about, that you overheard over my scouter? Well, I ate one. From what I understand, it's called the lava fruit. Or at least that's what I understand. It allows me to become literal living lava." With Vegeta stating, "How is that possible?" As the fight begins, Vegeta decides to use more ki energy based attacks. Raditz is able to dodge some of these with his observation haki, but still gets hit due to the fact that Vegeta is still more powerful with his ki level. As Raditz then states, "Alright, that's enough." With Vegeta saying, "Looks like physical attacks don't really do much, but although energy blasts don't seem to kill you, they at least seem to hurt you. And I can work with that." As we see Raditz clenching his fists, stating Kaioken, with red energy surrounding him, blitzing towards Vegeta, punching him, surprising Vegeta quite a bit, as he does tumble a bit, hitting the ground, but quickly gets back up and into the fight. This time coating his fist in ki energy to use like boxing gloves to hit Raditz, causing him a good bit of pain after the Kaioken wore off. Determined not to give him another chance to use that weird trick, as he yells, "Whatever you learned seems to have boosted your powers quite a bit, but it only seems to last for a small amount of time. So don't get cocky, you low-class Saiyan," punching Raditz down to the ground. The impact from the ground didn't harm him, but he felt plenty of pain from all those energy-filled punches, even if he didn't retain any damage. Slowly getting back up, saying, "Will that hurt?" As Goku states, "Alright, my turn. with Raditz stating, "Oh, come on." Goku mentions, "You haven't practiced hockey as much as I have, so you can't even take glimpses into the future yet." Which Vegeta hears this, thinking, "The hell are they talking about?" As Raditz scoffs, being annoyed that his brother's right. Even if he can sense where it's going to hit, he can't dodge them all. And the Kaioken doesn't last forever. With the fact that Vegeta wasn't letting him use the Kaioken, out just continuously hitting him with energy attacks, he just says, "Fine, but you better do good on this. Otherwise, I'm taking over this fight again. Understand?" Goku smirked, stating, "Alright, but I got a nice little trick for him. Something you haven't even seen." As Raditz is interested by this, he smirks and decides to sit down, stating, "Alright, show me what you got, little brother." With Vegeta stating, "Ugh, are you really boasting about something that's probably so insignificant that it won't even matter?" As Goku smirks, stating, "Oh, trust me, it will be more significant than you think." As he removes his weighted clothing, including the top part of his gi. And I mean the orange part, not the weighted blue part. As he breathes in deep, focusing, a dark aura surrounds him with hockey, armament hockey, covering his arms as well as other parts of his body, including his feet and tail. His arms begin to multiply. Although his heads don't multiply, his tails do as well, giving him 6 arms and 3 Saiyan tails, as he states, Asura mode, preparing for an attack, getting into a stance, with Vegeta stating, "Huh, what is this, some kind of illusion?" With Goku going straight at Vegeta, throwing 2 of his fists, one on each of his sides, with Vegeta catching it, though feeling a large, painful impact on the palm, stating, "Well, that does pack quite a punch, but as if you can fool me with illusions." Instantly getting punched rapidly by the other 4 arms, realizing that these aren't simple illusions. They're constructs made out of sheer will, haki, and ki, allowing him to have literal 6 arms to beat the crap out of Vegeta, sending him flying down to the ground. Goku doesn't want to kill Vegeta, but he can't let him win, as Vegeta bursts from the ground, slightly hurt, spitting out some blood, stating, "Well, it looks like this trick has more than I thought to it. So, time to get serious." As he powers up, he goes in for the attack on Goku. As the fight continues, Vegeta does get hit and is reeling from it, but does attack Goku, only to be met with Haki blocking the part of Goku's body that he's trying to hit, harming Vegeta's fist, thinking, "The hell is this?" As Goku has had enough and tries to go for another barrage of attacks, but Vegeta bolts backing up from this. As Goku says, "Huh, so you were smart enough not to get hit by my fist this time, huh?" With Vegeta yelling at him to be quiet and that he's had enough. stating, "I'm sure a low class like you can't even control himself." As he forms energy into his hand, we look back at Nappa, who senses some, as Vegeta throws the ball of energy up into the sky. "Norm, we came here when the moon would be full, but since it hasn't shown itself yet, I'll have to improvise." As the artificial moon is up in the air, Nappa looks at it, as well as Raditz, Vegeta, Goku, and Gohan, as they all transform into their Azaru form. Vegeta states, "Now I'll crush you." Well, Goku in his Azaru form, but still with the Asura form stacked on top of it, he surprised Vegeta that he's still in control, landing some punches, but Vegeta has the upper hand in this situation. Goku hasn't had much experience fighting in this form, especially with somebody else of the same size in the Azaru form, so he's at a slight disadvantage in it. As for Nappa, he begins attacking as the Z fighters move around. As Gohan, who is able to control himself as he was training in hockey, including observation hockey, to hone his mental abilities, as well as trying to focus on controlling Conqueror's hockey. And yes, he does have it. During training, Goku accidentally got him to use it, but only that one time. Other than that, Gohan has grown enough to be able to control himself in Azaru form. With the Gum Gums fruit, he stretches out his arm to wrap around Azaru Nappa's arm as he's trying to hold him. As Nappa's not moving, keeping himself stationary but having his arms bound by Gohan, he begins to charge up a blast from his mouth. This is when Piccolo turns into his dragon form, since he ate the same dragon devil fruit as Kaido. As Krillin turns into his Buddha form, since he ate the human fruit model Buddha. As Piccolo charges up an energy blast, combined with his dragon's breath and the Ryu armament hockey ability that can be extended, he fires off a breath, which Nappa returns in kind, firing out his at Piccolo's breath attack. Due to the strengths of hockey, ki, and the dragon breath against Azaru Nappa's ki blast from his mouth, honestly, they're both straining, but due to the combination that Piccolo is using, he's able to somewhat match Nappa's breath, but is struggling. As this isn't looking good, Krillin in his Buddha form reps up his Ryu armament hockey ability in his hand and just full on Buddha slaps Nappa in the stomach, causing him to spit up blood, losing control of his attack, as Piccolo's breath is shot right down Nappa's throat. After this, Goku and Raditz sense what's about to happen as they smirk, with Nappa just blowing up with the Z fighters backing off. They're relieved that it's over. Honestly, Ryu has a tendency to make something look like it's blowing up once it's hit. Even if it doesn't look like it has a lot of force in it, when it hits, it does, causing some good amount of internal damage. So, if a Ki Blast is infused with Dragon's Breath and the Ryu of Armament Hockey to extend into it, I would imagine that, yeah, Nappa would definitely blow up. Having that kind of thing not only slammed into him from his gut from Krillin, taking the opportunity, but also Piccolo shooting that blast down his throat. Yeah, so he's dead. As Azaru Vegeta sees what happened, he gets even more annoyed as he's trying to fight off Azaru, let's call it Asura Azaru Goku and Magma Azaru Raditz. He has had enough and decided to blow up the entire planet, jumping up as high as he can, with the moon he created on his back. Well, behind him. He begins using a full all-out attack, stating that he's had enough, and he's going to destroy this entire planet. As Goku charges up, he knows that his enemy is stronger than him in levels of Ki, at least in base form. As he uses the Ryu with his Asura Azaru form, using the form for the Kamehameha wave, but with 6 arms, extending it in front of him, also charging energy into his mouth. He states, Asura Azaru, Kamehameha, blasting the power out. As these energies collide, Goku goes Kaioken times 10, blasting it out. And mind you, this Ki Blast has Ryu mixed in with it, sending it blasting Azaru Vegeta as he falls down. With the moon he created destroyed, they all revert back. As Gohan reverts back, Piccolo uses his clothes beam to get Gohan some clothes, with Goku running over to Vegeta, only to be stopped by his brother yelling at him, which he looks back asking, "Why are you trying to stop me?" Raditz states, "Please, for the love of existence, put some clothes on." As Goku then just stands there with a breeze going by as he sneezes, shivering, stating, "Oh yeah, unlike you and Nappa and Vegeta, my clothes don't stretch out when I change, do they?" As he is now visibly freezing in this freezing rocky area. As Piccolo and the others come over, as Piccolo does use his clothes beam to make some clothes for Goku to wear, with Raditz stating, "Thank you very much. Honestly, you need to get some proper clothes for Saiyans." Looking at Goku and Gohan, they go over to Vegeta, who this time is actually unconscious, with Goku stating, guess we didn't need the spirit bomb after all, huh? With Raditz stating, "Same, though I suppose it could be a trump card for later use. So, what do we do now?" Goku thinks for a moment, with some of the Z fighters thinking that they should probably put him down now, especially if he's going to be a problem later. Though Goku states, "Let's bring him to the lookout first and have Kami take a look in his head." Raditz looks and states, "Wait, that the Mechian can do that?" with them looking at Raditz stating, "What's in the making?" Raditz is surprised by this, stating, "It's the race that this Piccolo and that Kami person are a member of." Honestly, from what I've heard, some of them have mythical abilities, which is probably how this Kami person made those Dragon Balls, right? Since he was told about this from Goku while they were on the King Kai's planet, as they think, and decide to take Vegeta to the lookout to have Kami look into his head, which I believe he would be able to do, considering the man or the alien can create mythical orbs capable of granting wishes. Handing over the Dragon Ball they brought back over to Bulma, telling her to hide those somewheres in the lookout, as he gives them to Mr. Popo to store them somewhere safe for now, until they need it. Due to the fact of hockey giving them an advantage using armament for better defense, as well as observation to help them work together better, as well as helping keeping them alive, they were able to not die from this, especially since Goku and Raditz took care of the Cybermen pretty easily using Conqueror's hockey. As they got to the lookout, Kami was confused seeing Vegeta there and asked, "Why did you bring this man here?" Goku asked him to read his mind. As he did, seeing his past, he wasn't really the best of people, but he didn't start out as twisted as he is now. As stating, "I believe Raditz was correct. He became like this as a downward spiral due to the fact of what he learned about this Frieza person. Also, from what Vegeta can tell from his interactions with this Frieza, I can only imagine that this individual hasn't shown his full power, to him at least, as this does kind of worry them a bit." So they decide to keep Vegeta alive for now, despite Tommy not really wanting him to stick around. Goku convinces him, stating, "Oh, come on, Kami. If we ever need somebody else strong, he could be useful. I mean, Raditz changed. I'm sure he can too." With Raditz stating, with Kami caving in, but on the condition they'll only heal him enough to make sure he has a chance to survive. The rest of his healing is up to him, and we can see how things go from there. He'll stay on the lookout, since I don't trust him with the down there on Earth. I'd rather he stay here, where he couldn't destroy an entire city like his friend was about to do. With Raditz stating, "Wait, you saw that?" With Kami saying, "Of course. One of the things I've learned from becoming the Guardian is how to see things on Earth from this lookout, seeing everything I need to." Though his condition for this was that Goku, Raditz were asked to stay here as a deterrent in case Vegeta started to get violent. They agreed, as they were all healed up, except for Vegeta, who wasn't completely healed. Like I stated, he was only healed enough to give him a chance of staying alive. As he did end up being able to stay alive, though still pretty injured, he sees Goku, Raditz, and Launch there. Launch ends up staying at the lookout, not really sure about what's up with this spiky-haired guy. Though Vegeta wasn't really happy about his loss, he states. For a low-class Saiyans, you got quite strong in a short amount of time, didn't you? And those abilities of yours. I don't even recognize anything from them. Whatever they were, made up quite the difference in power. Also, whatever your little friends did to take down Nappa probably wouldn't have worked. They didn't work together. As Reddit states, you're probably right. But the fact remains, you were defeated. So do take that with some humility, with Vegeta stating, you changed quite a bit, haven't you, Reddit? He smirks, stating, well, a bit, yes. As Vegeta wasn't really in the mood of talking right now. When it came by when they were waiting, Raditz would talk to the blonde launch, since he really didn't understand the blue launch. The blonde launch was more aggressive and relatable to him with his aggressiveness, since most Saiyans are like that. As time passes, they get a telepathic communication from King Kai going to Kami, telling him to gather up everybody and that there's news. After they were gathered up, Kami tells them that it's about Frieza, as Goku stops them and asks if Vegeta can listen in on this conversation as well. He states, fine. But I suppose after hearing what we've learned about him and his past, I'm only doing this since he might want to know and deserves to know about what this terrible individual is going after. Afterwards, they head over to Vegeta as King Kai telepathically connects to all of them, telling them that Frieza's ships have mobilized to go over to planet Namek in order to get the Dragon Balls. As Kami states that his kind, the Namekians, were the ones that created the Dragon Balls. The ones he made are somewhat imperfect compared to the ones on Namek, stating that the ones on Namek are far more superior. As the conversation continues, after learning about Frieza going after the Dragon Balls there was worry about this. As Vegeta states, grab the control. You still have the control for your pod, Raditz, yes, as well as mine and Nappa's. Raditz pulls out 3 controls, stating, yes, I do. And I even went to Mount Paozu while you were unconscious and found Kakarot's pod. Vegeta tells him to gather up all the pods. Won't need them. Knowing that bastard, he'll most likely wish for immortality, like I wanted to. If that happens, the entire universe is going to be doomed. Which they fully understood. After hearing things about this Frieza guy from Raditz, they knew that this was serious. As then Bulma states, but wait, those pods only hold a single person, right? And Goku's one I've been studying, but it only it won't hold any more than a single person. You might be able to cram a second one in, but I'm not sure how comfortable that would be. As Popo chimed in, stating, well, there is that. As Kami remembered, oh yes, there is. talking about his ship, asking Mr. Popo to guide uh, Bulma there. After returning, Bulma tells him about the ship and how much room there is. As he states, well, that what you describe about its speed, it's far, far less than what her paws can achieve. As Bulma hears this, she thinks, then why don't we combine them? I can get my dad and my sister together. They're both geniuses like me. If we work together, we could find a way to make a ship that carry a number of people. That way you can all go and actually take care of it. As the plan was set in motion, once at Capsule Court, Raditz used the controllers since he's more used to this technology, and summons his pod, Vegeta's, and Nappa's, bringing all three to Capsule Corp. So in total, we have 4 Saiyan pods and 1 Namekian ship. Also, Raditz hands over his armor as well as the remains of Vegeta's, asking if she can make clothes that would react similar to this, asking if she could make something similar to his brother's gi, but instead with the main color being black, with a secondary color being red, stating that his armor was something that all of Frieza's forces wore. Well, what they wear, I rather not wear something like this anymore. Would you? As Vegeta does mention that he still wants armor, it is decided that they will heal Vegeta. He's agreed to work with them until they take out Frieza, mutual enemy and such. As King Kai has also mentioned that he's been spying on Frieza, as he states. Frieza said that after he becomes immortal using the Namekian Dragon Balls, he'll end up going to Earth, most likely to gather the devil fruits. He's even said that if his forces can use these unusual powers, then perhaps they can conquer worlds even faster than before and with much more ease. This is quite worrying. As a result of this comment, the capsule that held the double fruits, as well as the double radar and the book that was wished for, which is basically an entire encyclopedia of all double fruits. They were put on the lookout in Kami and Popo's care, as the clothes were made in order to stretch out for Goku, Gohan, and Raditz. They have their gis now, with Gohan's gi being similar to Piccolo's, seeing him as somewhat of another uncle, though still kind of weird considering he has a real uncle and someone that feels like an uncle with green skin. So yeah, Chi-Chi is convinced to let Gohan go, since they'll be having a good number of strong fighters with them. So she is convinced to liking canon, though still gets Goku to make the promise to get their son back safe, which he does promise. With Bulma, her father, Dr. Briefs, and her sister, I believe her name is Bra, they work together. They create the same ship that they made for Goku to go to as in canon, and made it a lot earlier. using only 2 of the engines from the Saiyan ships in order to make it larger to hold plenty of people. Chaozu would remain on Earth, with the party going to Earth, while going from Earth to Namek being Goku, Gohan, Piccolo, Vegeta, Bulma, Krillin, and Raditz. It was decided that they would go to Namek. So that was decided. As they get prepared and all that, they stocked up on some food, sensu beans, water, and everything, making all the preparations. As they arrived, Raditz, Krillin, Piccolo, Vegeta, Bulma, Goku, and Gohan, well, the ones who had somebody that they were leaving behind, said their goodbyes, as Kami tells Piccolo telepathically to make sure that their home planet survives. Or at least, if the planet can't, their people. Piccolo doesn't know much about his own people, but sighs and states, "Fine, I'll do what I can, but I'm not making any promises. Understand?" As Kami smirks, stating, "Understand. Just you saying that you'll do what you can to make sure our people survive is enough for me, at least for now." As they hop onto the ship and blast off. And this is where we'll be ending this What If for now. Do hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and make sure you set it to all in order to be properly updated for all my videos. With everything said, do hope you enjoyed. Happy New Year's, and I'll see you later. Bye.